Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is part two of the early life of Mr. Sidney Potier. Let's get started. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe and share. Without further ado, we're going to continue. Sorry about the little noise. My phone fell out of my hand. All right, guys, let's get started. Potier lived with his family on Cat Island until he was 10 when they moved to Nassau. There he was exposed to the modern world, where he saw his first automobile, first experienced electricity, plumbing, refrigeration, and motion pictures. He was raised Catholic, but later became an agonist, with views closer to this. At age 15, he was sent to Miami to live with his brother's large family. At 16, he moved to New York and held a string of jobs as a dishwasher. A waiter sat with him every night for several weeks, helping him learn to read the newspaper. During World War II, in November 1943, he lied about his age and enlisted in the Army. He was assigned to a Veterans Administration hospital in Northport, New York, and was trained to work with psychiatric patients. Potier became upset with how the hospital treated its patients, and feigned mental illness to obtain a discharge. Potier confessed to a psychiatrist that he was faking his condition, but the doctor was sympathetic and granted his discharge under Section V3 of Army Regulations 615-360 in December 1944. After leaving the Army, he worked as a dishwasher until a successful audition landed him a role in an American Negro theater production. All right, let's get into his early career. Potier joined the American Negro Theater, but was rejected by audience, contrary to what was expected of black actors at the time. Potier's tone deafness made him unable to sing. Determined to refine his acting skills and rid himself of his noticeable Bohemian accent, he spent the next 6 months dedicating himself to achieving theatrical success. On his second attempt at the theater, he was noticed and given a leading role in the Broadway production of Lysistrata, for which, though it ran a following 4 days, he received an invitation to understudy for Anna Lucasta. In 1947, Potier was a founding member of the Committee for the Negro in the Arts, an organization whose participants were committed to a left-wing analysis of class and racial exploitation. 1950. By late 1949, Potier had to choose between a leading role on stage and an offer to work for Daryl F. Zanuck in the film No Way Out. 1950, his performance in No Way Out as a doctor treating a Caucasian bigot played by Richard Widmark, who became a friend, was noticed and led to more roles, each considerably more interesting and more prominent than those most African American actors of the time were offered. In 1951, he traveled to South Africa with the African American actor Canada Lee to star in the film version of Cry the Beloved Country. Potier's breakout role was as Gregory W. Miller, a member of an incorrigible high school class and Blackboard Jungle. Oh man, some of these words are tough, y'all. Bear with me. Potier enjoyed working for director William Wellman on Goodbye My Lady, 1956. Wellman was a big name. He had previously directed the famous Roxy Hart, 1942, The Ginger Rogers and Magic Town, 1947, with James Stewart. What Potier remembered incredibly was the wonderful humanity in this talented director. Wellman had a sensitivity that Potier thought was profound, which Wellman felt he needed to hide. Potier later praised Wellman for inspiring his thoughtful approach to directing when he found himself taking the helm from Joseph Sargent on Black and the Preacher. But I'm sorry, Buck and the Preacher in 1971. In 1958, he starred alongside Tony Curtis and director Stanley Kramer's The Defiant Ones. The film was a critical and commercial success with the performance of both Potier and Curtis being praised. The film landed 8 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture and Best Actor nomination for both stars, making Potier the first black male actor to be nominated for a competitive Academy Award as Best Actor. Potier did win the British Academy Film Award for Best Foreign Actor. Potier acted in the first production of A Raisin in the Sun alongside Ruby Dee on the Broadway stage at the Ethel Barrymore Theater in 1959. The play was directed by Lloyd Richards. The play introduced details of black life to the overwhelmingly white Broadway audiences, while director Richards observed that it was the first play to which large numbers of black people were drawn. The play was a groundbreaking piece of American theater, with Frank Rich, critic from the New York Times, writing in 1983 that A Raisin in the Sun changed American theater forever. That same year, Potier was starring in the film adaptation of Porgy and Bess, 1959, alongside Dorothy Dandridge. For his performance, Potier received a 1960 Golden Globe Award nomination for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. 1960. In 1961, Potier starred in the film adaptation of A Raisin in the Sun, for which he received another Golden Globe Award nomination. Also in 1961, Potier starred in Paris Blues alongside Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward, Louis Armstrong, and Diana Carroll. I remember Diana Carroll. She was one of the greatest actors in the world and of her generation, y'all. Who remembers Diana Carroll? Y'all drop your comments below, man. The film dealt with the American racism of the time by contrasting it with Paris' open acceptance of black people. In 1963, he starred in Lilies of the Field. For this role, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor and became the first black male to win the award. His satisfaction at this honor was undermined by his concerns that this award was more of the industry congratulating itself for having him as a token, and it would inhibit him from asking for more substantive considerations afterward. Potier worked relatively little over the following year. He remained the only major actor of African descent, and the roles offered were predominantly typecast as a soft-spoken appeaser. In 1964, Potier recorded an album with the composer Fred Katz called Potier Meets Plateau, in which Potier recites passages from Plato's writings. He also performed in the Cold War drama The Bedford Incident, 1965, alongside the film's producer Richard Wildmark. The biblical epic film, The Greatest Story Ever Told, 1965, alongside Charlton Heston and Max von Sydow. And A Patch of Blue, 1965, co-starring Elizabeth Hartman and Shelley Winters. In 1967, he was the most successful draw at the box office, the commercial peak of his career, with 3 popular films: To Sir with Love, and In the Heat of the Night, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And to Sir with Love, Potier plays a teacher at a secondary school in the East End of London. The film deals with social and racial issues in the inner city school. The film was met with mixed response. However, Potier was praised for his performance, with the critic from the time writing, "Even the weak moments are saved by Potier, who invests his role with a subtle warmth." In Norman Jewison mystery drama In the Heat of the Night, Potier played Virgil Tibbs, a police detective from Philadelphia who investigates a murder in the deep south in Mississippi alongside a cop with racial prejudice played by Rod Steiger. The film was a critical success, with Bosley Crowther of the New York Times calling it the most powerful film I have seen in a long time. Roger Ebert placed it at number 10 on his top 10 list of 1967 films, Art Murphy of Variety felt that the excellent Potier and outstanding Steger performance overcame noteworthy flaws, including an uneven script. Potier received a Golden Globe Award and British Academy Film Award nomination for his performance. With that being said, y'all, this is part 2 of the early life and career of the late, great, legendary Sidney Potier, man. May he rest in peace. His legacy will always live on. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell button for more content, and drop your comments below. Let me know what y'all think about the man career on what I've read up so far. With that being said, y'all take it easy. Have a blessed day. I will be dropping some more videos for the remainder of the day. Probably like 4 or 5 more videos today. So, till then, y'all just hold tight. And y'all have a good day. CJ signing out.